Fear paralyzes us, prevents us from moving forward, and makes us doubt our own abilities. But what if I told you there's a secret Japanese technique rooted in Buddhist wisdom that can turn fear into a powerful tool? We're not talking about simple motivational advice, but an ancient technique that transforms fear into strength, step by step. From ancient Zen monks to samurai warriors, this teaching has changed lives throughout history, and now it can change yours. Ready to conquer your fears? Keep watching to discover this life-changing technique, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more transformative wisdom. If you're enjoying the content, like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who could benefit from this wisdom. The origin of fear and its impact on our lives. Fear is one of humanity's most primal emotions. We've been connected to it since our beginnings, when it was essential for survival. Thanks to fear, our ancestors could react quickly to real threats, such as predators or natural disasters. But today, most of our fears are no longer linked to physical threats, but to emotional, social, and psychological situations. Fear is activated in our brain by the amygdala, a small structure that automatically responds to danger. The problem is that this response often triggers even when there's no real danger, just the idea of a threat. That's why we fear failure, rejection, change, and even success. The brain doesn't distinguish between real and imagined danger. It reacts the same way. When fear becomes chronic, it paralyzes us, prevents us from making important decisions, makes us doubt ourselves, and traps us in our comfort zone. Instead of protecting us, fear limits our actions. It makes us postpone dreams, avoid risks, and live with constant anxiety. But there's something even more relevant. Fear doesn't just exist in the mind. It manifests in the body. Muscle tension, rapid breathing, sweating, and in extreme cases, panic attacks. It keeps us in a constant state of alert, draining our energy and harming our health. How Buddhism confronts fear for Buddhists. Fear is not seen as an enemy to be defeated, but as an illusion created by the mind. According to Buddhist teachings, fear arises from attachment and ignorance. We cling to security, stability, and what we know. When something threatens this balance, fear arises. One of Buddhism's key concepts is everything in life is in constant change, our emotions, relationships, and circumstances. Yet humans resist this change, which generates anxiety and fear. Buddha taught that the root of suffering is attachment. When we learn to let go, to accept life as it is in each moment, fear begins to fade. This doesn't mean we stop feeling fear, but that it no longer controls us. We become observers of our emotions, not prisoners of them. Buddhism offers concrete tools to transform fear. One of them is meditation. Through it, we train the mind to observe thoughts without identifying with them. By sitting in silence and simply observing our fear without resisting it, we release it. Just a passing sensation, not an absolute truth. Another important practice is mindfulness, being fully present in the now. Most of our fears are imaginary, based on past memories or worries about the future. But if we bring our attention to the present moment, fear loses its power. An ancient Zen monk said, "Fear is like a shadow. If you run from the light, it grows. If you step toward it, it disappears." This metaphor reminds us that fear only has power over us if we avoid or suppress it. When we face fear with awareness and acceptance, its grip on us dissolves. Kaizen, how to overcome fear with small steps. Fear often feels like an insurmountable wall, a giant obstacle that stops us from moving forward. It paralyzes us because we see it as too big, too strong, as if we need a burst of courage to overcome it all at once. But the Japanese discovered a different, subtle, and effective strategy to defeat fear without triggering mental resistance. This strategy is called Kaizen, and its secret lies in continuous improvement through tiny steps. Kaizen emerged in Japanese industry after World War II, when the country needed to rebuild. Instead of seeking drastic, immediate changes, companies started applying small daily improvements, almost imperceptible, which, over time, led to major transformations. Interestingly, this same principle can be applied to personal life, especially to overcoming fear. When we try to face fear all at once, our mind goes into panic mode and triggers the danger alarm. It's a natural protection mechanism. But when the change is so small we can barely notice it, the mind doesn't perceive it as a threat and allows us to move forward. Imagine you're afraid of public speaking. Facing it head-on with a speech in front of 100 people might be terrifying. But what if you start by speaking alone in your room? This doesn't trigger resistance. Then you can practice with a friend, then with a small group, and before you know it, you'll be speaking in front of an audience without the weight of fear. This method works because the brain learns through repetition. Each small step reinforces a new habit, and over time what once seemed impossible becomes natural. The key is consistency, taking small steps every day without rushing but without pausing. Fear doesn't disappear overnight, but when we face it this way, it gradually loses its power. Kaizen teaches us that we don't need to be brave immediately. We just need to start. With each small step, fear diminishes and confidence grows. How Zen practice transforms fear into serenity. Zen monks practice an ancient technique to transform fear into calm. By observing fear without reacting, without identifying with it, we release it. It's just an illusion. Monks also teach the importance of conscious breathing. When fear manifests, our breathing becomes rapid and shallow. But if at that moment we pause and breathe deeply, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which brings us back to calm. This simple trick sends the brain the signal that there is no real danger. Mindfulness practice is another powerful tool. When we live in the present, fear of the future and pain from the past lose their strength. In the present, we are safe. Thus, Zen practice teaches us that, instead of fighting fear, we can simply observe it and let it go. Over time, fear stops being an obstacle and becomes just a passing sensation. The samurai philosophy. Facing fear with determination, samurais were warriors trained to face death at any moment. Their strength didn't just come from physical training, but from a mindset that allowed them to control fear, even in the most extreme situations. They understood that fear was not a weakness, but an emotion to be understood and mastered. For the samurai, the key was accepting the impermanence of everything, including life. If they clung to the desire to survive, fear would paralyze them. But if they accepted the possibility of death, they could act with clarity and determination. This philosophy teaches us that by accepting loss, criticism, and failure as natural parts of the journey, fear loses its grip on us. If you've reached this point, and the techniques shared so far have touched you, now it's time to apply them. Don't wait for fear to disappear before taking action. Start with small steps, breathe deeply, and face what scares you with courage and serenity. Like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who could benefit from this wisdom. Leave a comment telling us how you will apply these practices in your daily life and which one resonated most with you.